This is Across the Streams Media Podcast.
I want to know what you're thinking. There are some things you can't hide. I want to know what you're feeling. Tell me what's on your mind.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Front Row Negative, the podcast. And before I introduce these guests tonight, I have to tell you what I had to do to get them. I had to traverse to the dilapidated strip malls in Houston. I had to venture around the broke down Alameda Mall and that area. And I had to go to the abandoned strip malls, mainly restaurants, to find the Triforce of Ponchos to summon these two guests back to the show. It took a while. I drank a Monster. I talked to Adam Cole. How did it feel to come back? And coming back to the show for tonight, we're entering our phase Foreman. We got Chris and Nicole because we're going to talk Disney.
Oh my God!
How are y'all doing?
We're closer to Greens Point than Alameda, by the way.
Rip Greens Point, which is now going to be a Spirit Halloween, probably in the next few weeks.
Dude, that'd be the most hardcore, dangerous Spirit Halloween you've ever stepped in.
The gunshots are real.
You'll step on a little footprint on the ground. It's like, give me your money, mother. Oh shit!
Yeah.
Oh crap! Sorry.
You walk in with you drive in with the car. You leave in a Uber. That's just how it goes.
Or a hearse, depending on what side of Guns Point you go to.
That is true.
What's up, everybody?
They are back. They raised the flag. That was quickly stolen by somebody else because ponchos got raided by their flags.
Our other ponchos, yeah.
But they are back, and we're here to talk Disney because we had two big shows coming through. We had San Diego, and then we had the big D23. And
oh yeah,
if you know, for a while, Disney was all about the mouse, but they've diversified their portfolio. They've got Star Wars, they've got Marvel, they've got National Geographics, and if you pay that extra money, they've also got Hulu. But we're not talking about Hulu. We're talking about the rest. Well, not National Geographics either. We're talking about the rest. So, I mean, where should we start?
Well, I would say, if you're asking me, I think the biggest shock to the system, Adam Cole, as you put it, would be that it seems like Rivers of America and Tom Sawyer Island are getting the axe for a Cars-themed area near Frontierland in Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World.
That was announced,
that was announced today.
That was announced today.
Yeah, they put the plans out there today. It was the first time we all saw it because we were like, where are they putting cars in Frontierland? There's a lot of water there.
You think with a lot of water in the area that, I've seen the Cars movies. Not a lot of water in Cars.
No. Mm-mm.
I mean,
well, for this specific ride, since it's a big racetrack, if it's going to be like the one in Anaheim, it needs a lot of that space.
Okay, but Cars and water, I mean.
Well, no, that means that the river's going away.
Okay.
Yeah, the river's getting the kibosh. And there's a lot of people out there who feel certain ways about it. I mean, if you're one of the more OG people, who's probably in your 50s or 60s, you're probably upset about this a little bit because you've probably been going, and maybe Tom Sawyer's Island and the Rivers of America were a big part of your trips. But just like what Walt said, I think that the parks will never ever be finished. Times are changing. That's what Bob Dylan said, and so I think we have to change with what people are into. And there's kids now that the kids in the last 20 years have no idea about Tom Sawyer. Like, I mean, I'm not entirely sure that book isn't banned in schools, so why even have a thing for it if
Well, because you still have Jonathan Taylor Thomas in the movie. You got young Simba.
Dude, no one
I saw that movie.
PCR.
Yeah, I saw that movie once.
I saw
And
it once.
yeah, I haven't seen it since.
I saw it once.
JTT is irrelevant, sir.
Not to Simba. He is lifeblood.
It's not enough to keep the Rivers of America and Tom Sawyer Island around. I can tell you that.
I don't care about Tom Sawyer Island.
Yeah, I don't think.
I don't
So,
care.
you know.
Yeah, I've never been to it. I've never ridden the riverboat because I've ridden the one in Moody Gardens and it's boring. And so this one's probably boring. And I don't
It's
want to waste
really-
my time.
Yeah, Disney at this point is going to the parks is all about trying to maximize your time while you're there and get as much done as you can whilst you're there for all the money you've paid to be there. And I think the last thing people want to do is stand around on a boat for 20 minutes when they can spend half of that time in a line for a new ride or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And I mean, like take Devin for instance. Devin is almost 20, right? And so Cars was a huge part of Devin's childhood. Huge.
So for the people listening, Devin is Chris's nephew.
Yes.
Who is older. When I met Devin, he was a scrappy young kid, drawing his stick figures at a comic convention, selling him his cards for $1 a piece. I bought 2 of them. So since then, we have seen him grown to the giant that he is now, size-wise. He's a giant.
6'6", whatever, 6'5", monstrous human being.
With the hair, he's 7'2".
Oh, we don't talk about Bruno.
I didn't say the name. I didn't say the nickname. I just said the height.
All right.
If you want to see the nickname, go to Universal. So, but Cars Lane, you said Devin. He's a certain age. They grew up in Disney. Does Cars something that means something to him?
It means everything to Devin. When Cars came out, I think Devin was born in 2004. And we went in 2009, so he was 5 years old.
Okay.
When we went, I don't remember off the top of my head when Cars the movie came out, but I'm pretty sure it was between 2004 and 2009, or around 2004. He literally grew up with the movie. When we went for his first trip, this is when they first rolled out a meet and greet area for Mater and Lightning McQueen, where they were like animatronic cars that you could like see and that would talk and the eyes would move and crap like that. And he was blown away. He was blown away. And I mean, even as a kid, we would go out to Louisiana, to the property in Louisiana, and we'd ride the 4-wheelers around out in the woods, and he'd be saying life was a highway while we're driving on the back. It's just, I mean, Cars is a film that has touched a lot of people, me included. I love those films. I mean, even part 2, I'm partial to a degree.
I do like Cars. I'll admit, I'm a fan of the Cars. Parker, my son, big fan of Cars. That's probably the one Pixar movie outside of The Incredibles that if it's on, he stops everything to watch. Now, saying that, he is disappointed with the games, that there isn't like a good Cars racing game.
That's true.
There are some racing games that have Cars characters, and there's that one Cars 2 kind of like battle espionage type campaign game, but there's no like Cars Mario Kart-esque or Cars Street Racers or Cars a Cruising USA styled game that has really got his attention, that he really wants. That's something that he really wants. And he's been kind of let down with that. But this ride, however, or this Adventureland, that might get his attention.
Oh, I would think so. What do you think, Nicole?
Yeah. So going back to Devin, that first trip, Devin bought a hat, a Lightning McQueen hat, and then he passed it down. He passed it down to Sydney, our little girl who we finally had. The reason why we are not on here anymore, because the almost 2-year-old. But he passed it down to her, and she wore it. She was playing with her Lightning McQueen Tony today, and she dances to the music. We put Cars on. She loves watching Cars. So even the 2-year-old loves Cars. So it has staying power. And I'm surprised the tree house is still there too. I wouldn't be surprised if that's gone soon. But the kids aren't going to want to ride a boat unless it's going fast. I've never been to Tom Sawyer Island or on the boat. Like last time you went to Disney with us was my first time. This next time when y'all go with us, you're gonna see how much of a professional at Disney I am. Like I know how to make our time do good.
Okay.
I've created a monster, Aaron. Yeah,
Huh?
I've created a monster with
Yeah.
in my Disney parks going wife. I really think Parker, once he is there, I think things with wheels are Parker's element, man. And he likes monster trucks. He likes cars. He likes going fast. He likes, I wouldn't be surprised when he gets older if he discovers Ricky Bobby and he's a big fan of that. But
Well, speaking of monster trucks at D23, so that morning I showed my kids all the trailers. I was pulling up trailers on YouTube, watching the fan shot videos where people were walking in the way of other viewers.
of course,
But one thing that caught his attention, because at first he thought, "Oh, he's like, Dad, is that another bootleg? Is that like Hot Wheels?" Because Hot Wheels also has a monster truck company, or it did. But he's like, "Is that the fake ones again?" And as soon as you saw the logo, official Monster Jam, you see Megalodon, you see Gravedigger, you see Son of a Digger, you see Max D. He's like that. His eyes got as big as saucers. He was hooked. And then he's like, "Why is the Jumanji guy there? Not The Rock,
Jumanji guy,
not Rampage, not anything else. Jumanji guy introducing Disney's Monster Jam." And I had to show him some old WWF stuff where there were monster trucks back then. You had Stone Cold truck, you had the Rock truck. Undertaker came out with Gravedigger, that kind of mix. You had the Goldberg truck, but nobody talks about that. So you had all these things, and he was excited. He was excited for that, and he couldn't believe it. He's like, that's probably why he chose for his birthday to go to Monster Jams, because he saw Disney's involvement with one of his favorite things.
it got him jazzed. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was. For almost a second, he was like, "Daddy, please don't sell those 2 stuffed dolls anymore." And he's like, "No, I want the money." So
he is getting older.
he is. He definitely is. So that was one of the announcements, but that Parker was all excited for Monster Jam by Disney.
I'm not gonna lie. I'll be interested in watching it. I mean, they got me hook, line, and sinker all the time. So
that is true. I mean, is there any other parts of the park that got y'all's attention?
what about you,
Parts
Nicole?
of the park?
Like new announcements for the park?
Chris, my favorite one, Monstropolis.
Yeah.
Really?
They're building before Elemental came out, Monsters Inc. has always been my number 1 Pixar movie. And then Elemental came out. That's my new favorite. But Monstropolis, I am so excited. Like, I was looking really closely at all the art that they put out. There's going to be a Harryhausen's sushi. You think this is about sushi?
I'd be very disappointed if we went and didn't go to Harryhausen's and have you say that line 20 million times while we're there.
Because I always do. Like when we're surprised by something, we're like, "What?" I'm like, "Sushi." That's what I quote the most. But Monsters Inc., because you can see you have the Laugh Factory where the roller coaster is going to be. It's the first suspended coaster at Disney, because it's the main ride is the scene where they're on the doors chasing down Boo's door and Randall, and so you're going through that, and that's dope. And
awesome.
haven't I been saying, if they put a Monsters Inc. ride, that is what they should. I've been saying that for years. And then it looks like next door is going to be MU, Monsters University. So that will be kind of cool. To like maybe do scare games or something. And then you're walking through Monstropolis. You see Mike's car that he never gets to drive because there's a scare shortage.
And which land is this one in? Then
you see Harryhausen's, all that.
Uh-oh.
She has frozen in time.
Hold on.
I lost you for like 2 seconds.
2 seconds? Sushi.
Sushi.
Okay, there she is.
Am I back?
Yeah.
Okay.
So where's
cool.
Monsters?
But
Where's
no,
Monsters Land going to be at?
So they haven't announced. There's there's one rumor and one really good guess from myself. Some people think they're going to get rid of Muppets, the Muppets area, which would be a crime against humanity. Some people think that's where Monsteropolis is going to go. But if you go do the meet and greet with Sully and Mike, that's also where they have more Pixar. So that is, and there's like this big door wall type thing back there. But that's where all the Pixar characters are. You can go to Edna's, you can go meet Edna Mode. You can go meet the Incredibles. You can go meet the monsters in that area. So I think that's where it's going to be. Chris said maybe Launch Bay. If you remember Launch Bay.
I do.
But that's where Disney Junior is. And they've been testing Bluey and Bingo meet and greets. So I highly doubt they'll get rid of the Disney Junior section. And especially they just reopened Little Mermaid and redid everything with the Little Mermaid puppet show. So,
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's going to be back there where the Pixar characters already are, because this was such a new announcement. It wasn't even a Blue Sky announcement a couple of years ago. So they must have been planning it to put all the Pixar characters, except for Toy Story, all together right there.
Okay. Okay. So, Monsters Inc. That was a fun movie. Monsters University. It was fun. It had me laugh a few times. But the one land that kind of got my attention, I guess, was one of the ending announcements. I mean, listen, I like horror movies. I root for the I root for the bad guys. That's my thing. The villains land. I'm kind of hyped for that. I'm hyped for this desolate Warhammer looking map of an area that's probably run with, like, Jafar and Scar and all these other creepy things.
Oh yeah.
So that is my attention.
Okay, since you brought that up, let me ask you, if you could fantasy book an anchor attraction for that area.
Because there's two, and they didn't announce what the two were.
I suspect one will be an anchor and one will be more geared towards families and kids.
Okay.
So what would you do as your anchor attraction, Aaron?
Ooh, with all the history of the Disney villains that have come throughout the eons of Disney time, for the kids, the OG villain for the kids, because when you go back, this guy was the first villain. He had the hate. He had the hate.
The guy who killed Bambi's mom?
No. That's I think that's the Jumanji guy. That's the Jumanji guy.
Oh my god.
No, you have to have a Peg Leg Pete ride. He's the OG villain, the OG bad guy. He made Mickey work on that boat. He became Goofy's evil neighbor. He has sabotaged Donald Duck's dates for years. He has caused hijinks and mayhem. It's him that's probably keeping Oswald at the damn park. That's who it is. It's that goddamn Peg Leg Pete that's keeping Oswald at the park. That's who it is. So he will be the kids villain for everything.
The only argument I have for that is they didn't announce anything for Rock and Roller Coaster. And the big rumor is, since Universal owns Aerosmith's music and the contract should be running out soon, is Powerline is a big one, and Pete's not a villain in Disney in Goofy movie.
He's the one that put the thought in Goofy's mind about Max being a brat.
So, yeah, but he did change the map, though. He was right about that.
He was coming in between a father and his son. Pete is that villain. He is that mastermind.
See, I'm glad this is why I asked Aaron if he wanted to fantasy book, because I don't see this happening at all.
No,
I like what you're saying, but there's no way.
No, it's not gonna happen.
This is going to be. And here's what I'm gonna say mine. Nicole, what would you do if you fantasy?
Well, I never said who my adult villain would be for the rides and for that.
Oh, okay.
You have to go with a villain that is charismatic, a villain that, you know, that just grips the Disney franchise by the throat. No fucks are given. You don't care. You have to just bow to that villain. And there's quite a
Bob
few of them.
Chapek. Bob Chapek.
Besides Bob.
Michael
Besides
Eisner?
Bob.
Mephisto?
And besides whoever cast that chick for the Star Snow White live action movie.
Bob Chapek.
And it's not Peter Dinklage. It's you got to have a villain that just personifies evil, and that has magic, that can sing, that can just put on a performance. And so you brought up the Aerosmith ride. That would be a great roller coaster if you're going to the underworld of Hades and you need to escape. That's fast. That's a ride. I'm going to give it to Hades. Hercules is coming soon. I mean, that's going to be a live action movie. And
so to support that was more announcements at D23 with that. So you have the show on one of the cruises.
Yep.
They're going to have that. And then Hercules, well, they've been working on Hercules on Broadway for a good while. But then again, I'm like super into the theater community, so I've been keeping up with it. And it's going to the West End.
Yeah.
The West End is the UK's Broadway. So that's now gaining speed. So yes. I would not be surprised if like there's like a drop into Hades.
A speed drop into Hades?
Or into the underworld.
Yeah, to the underworld? That would be a fast ride.
Yeah. You kind of back Aaron's idea that might be a good idea for an anchor ride.
Yeah. And then at the end, you buy your fear from Hades?
Yeah. Yeah, I would look at what they're doing with Oogie Boogie Bash, because they are doing more experiments with the villains over there. They get way more villains than Disney World does. We do.
I would have said Oogie Boogie if Nightmare wasn't already partnering up with Haunted Mansion all this time. Because they've already partnered up with them, that's kind of the crossover that people kind of
in Disneyland, not in Disney World.
But not at
it was in
Disney World though.
No, Disneyland.
When we went to the Haunted Mansion,
Disneyland.
When we went to Haunted Mansion,
Disney doesn't have an overlay.
They had Jack Skeleton pop up in flashes because we saw them when we rode the ride. During the scene when
I don't know what ride you were riding.
Yeah, during the banquet ride, Zero flew through the banquet hall. And then there's one scene where you're going through and like they have like the strobe lights behind these sheets that are like as you're walking inside the mansion, and Jack popped up as like a shadow. So that was in Walt Disney World.
You had too much daddy juice. I think you had too much daddy juice at
No,
Disney.
that was the day before. I was sober then.
Okay, well.
I was sober by then.
No, it's mainly at like ours doesn't have an overlay. Our Haunted Mansion doesn't. I was hoping it was going to be Muppets Haunted Mansion when that came out. No. But yeah, we don't have an overlay. So they could do Oogie Boogie, honestly. Or that can be like one of the smaller rides if you're on the roulette wheel.
Yeah, that's too.
If I might be so bold. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was fixing to say Jack and Sally are part of Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween.
Yeah, I was going to say, I would think if there's anything to do with Nightmare Before Christmas, I think what they would do is they would centralize Not So Scary and a lot of the activities for Not So Scary or whatever around the villains area. I would think that'd become like Halloween HQ for Disney World when Halloween rolls around. Now, here's what I would think would make the most sense to me. All your parks at Disney World have one thing in common. They all have a mountain. So,
Well, it's beyond Thunder Mountain.
Well, I know, but I'm saying don't underestimate the idea that they could slap another mountain that might be overrun by Maleficent as a dragon living in that mountain, or what's his face from Fantasia, the big devil guy.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Scrog.
Chernobyl.
It's
Chernobyl.
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 Chernobog?
Chernobog. Something like that.
Chernobyl.
Yeah, we're going to do a
Not
Chernobyl mountain at the villains area.
You walk out. I'm feeling
Ugh.
funny. Why am I glowing?
Right. Yeah.
Why am I
Turns out
glowing?
it
Through
turns
my
into
hand.
Fallout.
I didn't drink a dew.
So that's what I would suspect. I would think it would just make sense to kind of, there's a tradition there.
Okay.
And there's a lot of people, when they go to the parks for vacation, they usually have a shirt that says, I conquered XXX and this mountain. So there might be a chance for more merch with that.
Okay.
Because,
Yeah, we did the mountain challenge.
The big part. Yeah. Merchandising is a big part of this. That's what we have to remember. They got to sell mugs and stuffies and T-shirts and hats and ears and blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
So I would think it'd be some sort of mountain. Now, do I know what character to focus on? No, but you could incorporate. Honestly, it could be a mountain that incorporates all the big villains. You could start off in Hades and try to escape Hades, and you end up going up the mountain, or vice versa. You go down the mountain into Hades, back up again. I don't know.
You mean have their own Mount Crushmore for all the villains?
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, it makes sense, right? Like,
yeah, it does.
There could be different parts of the ride in the mountain that are themed to, like, Dr. Facilier or Ursula or,
Captain Hook or all those villains. Yeah,
they can all pop up as animatronics and stuff like that in the ride.
Yeah, Facilier definitely, since Tiana is just on the other side of the mountain.
Yeah, you could throw him in there and have him be like the counterpart to that ride.
Ooh, a ride where like Hades and Facilier kind of team up with the mysticisms.
That would be cool.
That would be pretty cool.
I'd be here for it.
Yeah. So we all kind of talked our favorites for the theme park announcements. Here's kind of run through what was announced as I'm looking through this list. So Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run will feature a new story with the Mandalorian and Grogu movie that's coming out in the next few years.
Meh. That ride already sucks if you're an engineer.
Unless you're a 10-year-old or younger, that ride is not going to be fun.
Gwen.
It's Star Wars. Gwen is going to love it.
Well, when we go, we're going to have enough for a full ship, so Gwen doesn't have to fight to be a pilot. We can just make Gwen a pilot and let Parker shoot everything, and we can just be engineers just pushing buttons.
Okay.
Engineer.
I know, it was so stupid. Like, we were going to be the pilot, and then this guy pushed us to the side, and mind you, like, my foot.
Mm-hmm.
That's a different story for a different podcast. But he shoved us out of the way, and they ended up being the pilots, and we were like just having to push. Oh, the red button's going off. Push it. It's boring if you get a stupid job. It's such a boring ride.
Okay.
I mean, it's like, oh, cool, you're in the Millennium Falcon. Oh, I'd rather go ride Star Tours.
Nothing wrong with that. It was fun when I rode it the last time. So it could be fun. I don't know, but that's definitely a Gwen ride. My daughter is Gwen, Star Wars fanatic.
Oh, that's 100% going to be a Gwen ride.
Yeah.
And I'll be here for it.
Next up, Indiana Jones is coming to Disney Animal Kingdom. My first thought is Indiana Jones. Is he still relevant? Does he still have a lot of fans?
They bought Lucasfilm.
Yeah.
I'll say this. Bones Coffee did an Indiana Jones themed flavor pack last year. It was pretty much their worst selling flavor pack since they've started doing collaborations. And this includes SpongeBob.
They got to squeeze blood from the stone, Aaron. I mean, they paid for Lucasfilm. Was it four?
Don't you mean squeeze blood from the crystal skull?
And
sure.
Also, Dinosaur basically has like almost the same ride mechanics as the one in Disneyland. So they're going to save a little bit of money there, putting Indy where Dinosaur is. But if
Indy
you go
is a dinosaur.
Well, if you go to the show in Hollywood Studios, it's usually always packed. Like the Indiana Jones stunt show, it's like the Waterworld one, but it's usually always packed.
I just don't see the fascination. I'm not a big Indiana Jones fan. I don't see it.
Well,
So,
see, I grew up an Indiana Jones fan because I like the swashbuckling adventures, like your Indies, your Pirates of the Caribbean, your things like that, where it's like they're on this big quest and you have to go to these foreign places and all these exotic.
I mean, I do too, but I'd rather see a National Treasure ride instead of Indiana Jones.
Nah, I'd rather see Indy, and I've only seen one of them.
Dude, okay, like I understand what you're saying, but
You just want Nicolas Cage in the parks.
I think Nicolas Cage plays a better
Like,
adventurer.
he's saying like this. He's like, "Oh, we need to find the Declaration of Independence." Like that's what.
Have you seen Willy's Wonderland yet?
Yes, it's good.
There, good. Case solved. Okay, so up
Oh
next
my
we got
God.
Encanto at Animal Kingdom. Now
yeah,
this
dude.
did perk Gwen's attention for a little bit because of the songs and the colors and the storyline. She does like Encanto. She made a comment. She's like, "So is this like if the Incredibles were in South America?" I'm like,
What?
What do you mean by that?
But the powers, the family with powers.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, I guess, but I wouldn't say they were superheroes so much as people who are just they have gifts or whatever that they use
They have gifts
for the community,
and their family, and they help their community.
I can say that we are aficionados in Encanto since our daughter is obsessed with like only 5 movies, and Encanto being one of them.
Yes,
But
big time.
they talked about this was Big Sky a couple of years ago, and I was like, that's bullshit because Lin-Manuel Miranda, when the movie came out and then it blew up, he had already started talking to Disney and started doing stuff for the ride. He even said, "Oh yeah, Disney and I are talking about a ride." I'm like, okay, well, I already know it's coming.
It's gonna be awesome.
So it's going to be amazing. It's basically the movie because they said you're going into Antonio's getting his gift that night. And so it's a ride through Casita.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be great.
That ought
Yeah,
to be a fun.
They're gonna
It's
make a
gonna be
lot of money for parents with daughters.
Yeah, and they said it ends in Antonio's room. So it fits Animal Kingdom very well. I just wish they would have took Zootopia that they did in Shanghai and brought it over. Like that's what I would do instead of Indiana Jones or just knock down Pandora.
I would agree with that. I think Zootopia has a bigger following than Indiana Jones. Just that's not me hating on Indiana Jones. It's just that when I've gone out and like done Disney things with the kids, Zootopia, there are kids wearing Zootopia merch. I still hear that one song by Shakira, the Yak, singing all the time, or Water Buffalo, whatever the hell she is. Singing.
She's a gazelle.
Gazelle. Okay.
And her name is Giselle.
Giselle the gazelle. She looks like a gazelle. Anyways, but she sounds like a frog. But still, I hear Kermit. But still, I hear that song. I see kids wearing Zootopia things more than I see them wearing Indiana Jones. And this is in Kingdom. Zootopia should fit.
They are putting Zootopia in there though. So one of the other announcements was It's Tough to Be a Bug is gone. And
yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. But that's where they're putting Zootopia instead. Yeah. So they're just replacing it. So I think that's going to be fun. At least Zootopia is in there.
Is that World or Land?
That's World.
That's the Animal Kingdom.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Animal Kingdom. They're replacing Tough to Be a Bug. Yeah.
Okay. So for Disneyland, they're getting an Avatar adventure, which, again, because we went to Disney World in 2018, I watched Avatar, like afterwards. It was fun. I get that it compares to Dances with Wolves, but with blue people. Dances with Blue Man Group. I get that. I get that people are saying you shouldn't have called it Avatar. Give that to Aang and his animation team. Call it something else. Call it Reboot. That sounds better.
Yeah. Right.
But it's getting its own land, I guess, in California. Thoughts on that? Yeah.
from a business perspective, when you talk about how Indiana Jones is kind of meh and things like this, at the end of the day, they invested in these properties and they're going to milk it as much as they can. In Pandora, there's, I think it might end up being a big flop because it takes 13 years for every sequel to come out.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest thing for the Avatar land is it looks really cool at night with the bioluminescence and all the plants and foliage and view.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful place. I'm not taking anything away from it. It is stunning, especially at night. But, the river ride is a cool way to cool off during the day if you want the Navi River journey. That's great during the day if it's hot. Once you do the Banshee ride, the flight of the Banshee or whatever. Mm-hmm. Once you've done it, you've done it. It's great, but am I going to ride it every time I go to Disney? No. It's a long wait, and it's also, if you're paying for fast passes and grab the fast pass you really don't need to use.
Okay.
So and then the burger pods too.
Yeah, the food is the best part of Avatar Land, in my personal opinion.
So next up in California, there's a Coco themed attraction. That's a boat ride with animatronics. My kids love Coco. They love the music. They love the music and the colors more than the actual story or anything else. I just remember they would rewind and go back to the music song, and then after the song's done, they will turn off and go do something else. But they do like that. So a Coco themed attraction, I think that's great. That would look really cool if they themed it out for Halloween or during October. I think it would look really cool. But what do you think of that?
Why is it not going in the Mexico Pavilion?
Because that is racist.
What?
No, Three Caballeros. They had to put memorials for two of the animatronics because they wouldn't stop breaking. They had to take them out, put memorials there.
You know why? You know why? Because Donald Duck was a DEI hire for that area. That's what happened.
Oh my God.
He's the gringo.
But no, put it there because the only Coco in the Mexico Pavilion is in the front where you can yeah. No, it needs to replace Poncho's the ride. That's what it needs to do.
Okay. I understand where
that's a bathroom ride?
Stop. No.
Stop. No, every time we go on that ride, we're like, man, I want Ponchos.
And every time afterwards, oh, my stomach.
Oh, whatever.
Oh, no me gusta.
Oh, Aaron, you've got bad, digestive problems. It's okay, man.
No, Ponchos has bad food. So next up, we have
Sydney loves it.
Sydney poops in a diaper. Problem solved.
You know?
I do know. I've had 2 Ponchos.
Oh my God. Anyways.
So next up, we have Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Now, this was actually announced. For World, it was announced last year.
It was announced for both of them already.
For both last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it just opened in World. The announcement was the opening date.
Yeah.
For Land. So that was what the big announcement was. They didn't have a date.
Okay. I mean, Tiana. I'm a big fan of David Keith. Love his work. He was basically the voice of my childhood. Spawn, Goliath, those Army commercials that played during the Fox afternoon. Yeah, he was the voice. Franks and Beans. It's all, it is the voice. So to see him get more work and to see him lend his talents to a ride, that's pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
But one of the biggest announcements for Disneyland California was Avengers Campus, especially the Affinity Defense. That looks cool. And Chris has claws that are Fox property, not Disney property.
They bought Fox. Thank you very much.
No, he bought those at Spirit, and they were labeled X-Men 97.
Yes, these are X-Men 97 Wolverine claws, sir, and they're dope. So yeah, no, the announcement for Avengers Campus are fantastic. I think they're,
the Stark Flight Lab. That looks amazing.
Yeah,
that's going to be fun. So that's enough to get me to take a trip to California. Just the Avengers Academy. That would get my ticket to go out there.
Well, see, it's funny you mentioned that because we were talking in after this next October trip. I think our next park visit trip will be Disneyland, not Disney World.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You know, that's probably 3 or 4 years away from now, but we're definitely going to go.
Okay. That's fine. I mean, again, it'll be fun. I probably would enjoy it. It'll be a new adventure.
Oh yeah,
it'll be a new adventure.
It'll be awesome.
So with land, that's pretty much the majority of the American parks. They did some international park stuff, but honestly,
well, for Disneyland, there is one missing. They did announce Disneyland's 70th, like the theme, the coloration, and all the things for Disneyland's 70th anniversary next year. So they did go into that.
Okay. Wait.
Like they're doing like a new nighttime show. They're doing a bunch of new stuff to celebrate like how World had the 50th celebration. They're having their 70th.
Okay. So then tickets will be double the amount to get in because of that celebration.
Probably.
And the beer will be less because you have to buy more. Especially if you're a parent.
You're learning.
I am learning. Tour of the world.
I can't wait till the two of you drink around the world with my stepdad. I can't wait. It's gonna be so fun.
All right.
It will be fun. Gotta get that big old pretzel from Germany.
The Skyliner ride is gonna be great.
Just imagine. Oh man, Figment's imagination. Oh wow. Buzz.
Don't ruin Figment.
He's like, where's that purple bitch at now? Huh?
He has a meet and greet. He has a meet and greet now. He'll kick your ass, man.
He probably will. He'll bite my arm.
Epcot.
That's hard to do. To get kicked out of Epcot, the lawless land. That's hard to do.
Yeah. So we've covered the parks. Now let's jump into the movies that were announced. A lot of movies, a lot of TV shows, a lot of properties were announced in basically a 2-week span. But we're talking D23, and we'll kind of throw back and mention some SDCC stuff. But they started off with Moana 2. I remember seeing that.
Oh yeah.
And I remember like putting a loop of all the trailers that were announced so my kids could watch it to kind of gain their reaction. And Moana 2, both my kids were kind of like, until the very end. We had the little coconut guys shooting the darts.
Takamura.
So that got their attention. That and a hey. Everything else are just kind of like,
Oh man, yeah, I mean, we're definitely on board. Sydney, that's her jam, dude. So like, it's one of her top favorite movies. Like, it's gonna be a no-brainer for us.
She says hey. She says mo. She goes Mao. She Po for Poa. And she's sleeping with a hey, a Moana doll, and a Poa right now.
Now, have you taken her to Popeyes or KFC and said, "There's hey"?
Oh,
she's not even 2, sir.
Well, you gotta teach them young.
But no, we're gonna see if a theater around us does like a baby day, like where the kids can go, because like she will sit there, perfect. Like she will sit there in my lap almost the entire time and watch Moana. We had when we put Moana on in the car, she sings with it. She has her little Tony box with the figure. She puts it on there and it sings the songs and tells the story. She freaking loves it. So we've been stoked for Moana 2 for a while now. Because originally it was supposed to be the Disney Plus series. Yeah. And then Disney made it into the movie. And Lin-Manuel is not associated with it. He's not doing the music for this one.
Throughout the announcements, some musical acts and musical compositions did change. If you're, like you said, fan music, Lin-Manuel's not doing that one. Another musical change was for the next Tron movie. And instead of having Daft Punk come back and do the soundtrack, you got 9 Inch Nails, which, I mean,
weird.
It'd be weird, but they Nine Inch Nails or Reznor did a movie not too long ago.
Trent Reznor, they did Soul.
Yeah, that was his Soul. It was Soul.
Trent Reznor, doesn't he have an Oscar for music? He does.
He does.
So
go ahead.
Oh, I was fixing to say, so if he can do Soul, and he did it, Soul is amazing. Like, one of the things you can do at Disneyland, you can go to the Pixar Hotel, and they have a Joe Gardner sitting there playing piano in the lobby. So, I mean, that's just amazing. But if he could do Soul, and how Nine Inch Nails sounds, and you look at Tron, it's going to be fantastic.
I mean, Tron, the last Tron movie was all blue themed. It was all good guy themed. And Daft Punk is more positive, more, I guess more positive way of doing a score for the good guys. Tron Ares was showcased as the bad guys winning, the villains winning, villain heavy with the Reds. And if you want that like industrial rock, kind of gritty, kind of, evil-esque tone to it, Nine Inch Nails can do it. They can deliver on that. Downward Spiral. What's that one album? We're in Together. The one I had, We're in Together. The Fragile album. They can have that tone where you feel desolate, you feel bad, where it sounds angry, and it matches that. So while people were complaining about Daft Punk not coming back, I'm like, if this is the tone of the movie, I don't think Daft Punk could have captured the villains winning. So I think this is their Empire Strikes Back, where you have to have that tone.
If I'm right, Ares is the god of war.
Yes. So if it's playing into that theme, I mean, I think Nine Inch Nails can do it.
The bad guy's gonna be a Trojan program or whatever, and then
it's gonna be a Nigerian prince.
Oh my god!
You won the lottery.
They're gonna Tron you like an animal.
Yeah.
Gonna hack your Facebook.
I Tron myself.
Yeah. Pretty little hack machine.
Oh my
god. We already talked about Monster Jam. Elio, a new Pixar movie coming out. Basically, it's honestly, I watched it and then I read the bio for the movie. This is a Nova movie. This is Marvel Nova, but done with a little boy. Kid travels to space, intergalactic police, fighting aliens. That's Richard Rider.
Yeah, that's true.
I think Elio was supposed to be the Pixar release for this year. But I think they had setbacks because they've announced it before. I think this is more information. I think it was supposed to be the release for this year, and Inside Out was supposed to be next year. But I'm glad they released Inside Out 2 this year.
But as a comic fan, this is Nova.
You think this is
very similar? What was that again, Chris?
You think it's like a test drive to see get some early Richard Rider type fans? So when they introduce Richard Rider, it's like, oh, I like this.
I think this was a redraft from Nova to Elio to kind of recycle the script.
Okay,
that's my feeling on it. It could be false, but the trailer I saw, some of the aesthetics, I'm like, this feels like Nova. But we'll see when it comes out.
That'd be cool.
Another Pixar, the Hoppers are coming up. I think those were was like a body swap with a beaver movie.
Yeah.
Again, Freaky Friday type of vibes. And speaking of Freaky Friday,
Freakier Friday.
26 years later, Freakier Friday.
That's so weird.
I mean, hey, Jamie Lee Curtis needs the money. You saw those Halloween movies that she did.
In Borderlands.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm not even gonna get started on Borderlands. I'm not even gonna throw my hate on that. That movie does not deserve my hate nor my attention. It did have a cool popcorn bucket, but no, I'm not even gonna. U-Bowl, where the fuck were you? You should have directed that instead. Yeah, Freakier Friday.
Isn't he like kind of known as being the worst
movie
director?
Yeah, he was. Eli Roth took that with Borderlands. He took that.
Oof. All right.
So jumping next. Now we talked about this when we went bowling. This was announced, and my question is why? Because I feel we got the perfect ending and part 4 with the goodbyes.
Okay.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Toy Story 5. Does this feel just like a cash grab to keep the franchise moving along? Because
So
it ended. Part 4 ended emotionally, and it ended well. We were crying when we left the theater because of, goodbye partner, and then return it to infinity and beyond. We were crying. Why do we need a part 5? So thoughts?
So part 5 was announced, I think, last year. This is just more information. And for like this whole year, I've been like, what? They don't need another one. Like 3 had a great ending. They could have
They
stopped it
did.
with 3.
They could have.
But then they had to go back and like, oh wait, you forgot about Bo Peep.
True.
Like, okay. But Bonnie with a tablet, of course she's a tablet kid. Screen zombie. I already hate Bonnie.
So, is the company that makes the tablet going to be called Pear? Is that what it's?
Apple? No, because Apple owns, like Steve Jobs founded Pixar.
Oh,
they can use Apple.
that is true. They can use it.
Yeah, Steve Jobs was part of it.
Apricot.
Apricot. Peach.
Apricot.
It's peach. But do we need a part 5?
No.
I mean,
well, okay. Again, and I hate to be a broken record here, but you're talking about Disney. At the end of the day, is a big, giant corporation and company that has spent millions and millions and millions upon millions of dollars on putting that part of the park at Hollywood Studios, Toy Story Land. Got to keep that party rolling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's all marketing. People are going to go see it. They know we're going to go see it. They know.
Okay.
Didn't we all go see like the Marvel movies that were not exactly necessarily the best of all time?
I did see Morbius.
There you go.
Once.
I'm excited for Venom 3.
No.
And then there are those people who are excited for Venom 3.
I like the movies. I think they're fun.
I with Pixar, I would have rather have seen a Big Hero 6 Part 2 than the Toy Story 5.
Yes.
Okay, I'm with that.
But that's Disney Animation Studios. That's not Pixar.
Don't worry, Aaron. There's next year.
But again,
when we go to Disneyland, you can go to San Francisco with us.
Hey, yep. I will gladly eat one of Aunt. What's her name? Aunt
Cakes. She got
Aunt Cakes. Yeah, she does. She got a bakery and a bakery.
Yeah, she does.
She has a bakery and a bakery.
I love you, dear.
All they need is Bailey, like a picture of Bailey on the window.
Live action, and she can play the aunt.
She could.
I'm here for it. Can you imagine that popcorn bucket?
It's like the Deadpool controller, but it's her as the ant.
It'll be like one of those mouse pads where it's like their boobs and they're soft.
The hentai girls.
There you go.
All right, so again, more sequels are coming out. Announced Zootopia 2. Both my kids were loving this announcement for Zootopia 2. They loved the first one. I got the adult jokes in there. They were hilarious. Like, Walter and I forget the kid's name. Jesse and Walter. It's time to cook. Great joke. Great joke. I loved it. The kids loved it. Even with the gazelle that looks like a gazelle singing. That's great. It'll be fun. That one looks like it's fun. And they're introducing reptiles as part of the universe. That'll be fun. That'll be a fun one.
I saw a meme today. It said, well, now it's confirmed with Zootopia 2, the carnivals eat the fish. I'm like, oh.
They do.
Oof.
They definitely do. We got announced Frozen 3.
Two-parter.
And apparently there will also be a Frozen 4.
It's going to be a two-parter.
It's a two-parter.
It's going to be like Harry Potter, the last Harry Potter movie. It's going to be two parts.
Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah.
You mean Infinity Wallet and Broke?
Yeah. You'll be there. You have no choice, Aaron.
I don't.
Dude, We can see the two different fandoms. Like I mentioned Harry Potter, you mentioned Marvel.
That is true. A third Incredibles movie was announced.
Yes.
I'm hoping that I'm just gonna say my wish for this is that we get a 6-year time jump. That way, Violet's going to college. She's like the teenage kind of vigilante with her sidekick brother, and Jack is finally a kid that has the most random powers that just does whatever he wants. A jack of all trades. No, it's
what
Jack.
I would suspect is going to happen here with Incredibles 3. This is my fantasy booking, but I think we're going to see a family that is kind of growing apart. You know what I mean? Kids are getting older. Violet, wants to just be her own person and go live her own life. Maybe
Dash.
Dash will, yeah. Maybe he's, feels like he's tired of living in his dad's shadow. His dad's shadow looms so large, and he can't escape it because he's not fast enough to escape it.
Mm-hmm.
And Jack might, we might see some what the other two children perceive as favoritism towards Jack because he can do it all.
That's true. That could be it.
Maybe Jack might be feeling the pressure.
So, are you saying that we're going to get a civil war with the Incredibles?
Possibly. I'm just saying.
Team
somebody who's going to speak, and there's going to be somebody talking in Violet's ear because Violet is technically Generation Z or whatever, so she's got all kinds of wacky, wild ideas about the world. And so,
no, she's not because Incredibles takes place in the 60s. So if you do the 6-year time jump, you're going to the 70s.
Okay,
flower power.
She's gonna be okay. Still, to my point, rebellious, and somebody's gonna get in her ear and tell her the things she wants to hear about how she's right about everything. And they're going to end up using her against her family.
Because Disney owns Marvel, and this is 70s that were fantasy booking. Dazzler can make a cameo.
Taylor Swift.
There you go.
Jesus, easy new rock stars. It's not happening.
You know what? I said Dazzler, not Mephisto.
We'll see.
So, for next up, live action Lilo and Stitch coming out.
Yeah. They're doing it with everything that they have, so why not do it with Lilo and Stitch?
The fun thing with that one that I can't wait for is when last year we went to Hawaii because Chris was a guest at a con. And so they were filming while we were on Oahu, and they said that because we were like, oh, I wonder if we'll find Disney. Apparently Disney would have a filming location, and then people would find out they were there, and then in the dead of night pack everything up and move to a different location on the island, trying to keep everything secret. So I can't wait to see that because I'll be like, oh, we were there, oh, we went there, oh, we just missed them.
Right.
Especially with the ranch where they filmed Godzilla. Yeah, Jurassic Park and Godzilla. And the Brady Bunch movie. Brady Go to Hawaii. Oh, not the movie. Yeah, Brady's Go to Hawaii. Yeah.
No, that was in part 2 when the husband, the ex-husband, is live and comes back for the statue that's in the Brady's living room.
Yeah, where the cave where the kids were hiding. They were like, oh, that's the cave. I'm like, oh, cool. Snap picture.
That's true.
But I'm looking forward to it. I don't like the live actions that much. The only live action I kind of liked was Lion King, and it wasn't live action. It was all CGI. So technically it doesn't count.
I think the only live action my kids liked was Aladdin.
Aladdin was good. Yeah.
And Jungle Book. They liked that one too. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked Aladdin and Lion King because I went and saw Lion King when y'all went and saw Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Oh, yeah.
That was such a good one though. And last, I guess for Pixar or Disney Animation is Win or Lose. That one looks like it could be fun. That one looks like it's fun.
Maybe I missed that. I guess I missed that. What was that one about?
Like Jimmy, it's very Jimmy Neutron-ish.
It's the Pixar Disney Plus series about, I think it's baseball team, a little league baseball team.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I did see that. My bad.
But very science-based because he's got like the space helmet on and everything. Or not space helmet, but like there's computer stuff. It looks fun. It looks fun.
It's Pixar. I trust it.
Yeah, I do. Now for the Star Wars stuff. Mandalorian and Grogu. The movie was announced. Again.
I think this was mainly the date. Yeah.
Yeah. Gwen gave it 4 out of 5 squeals when she saw it because of Grogu. She liked the little ending scene of Grogu and the two little alien things from the 9th movie. I forget what they're called. Was it Bubbo Fitz or something? I don't know. But
Babu Frick.
Yeah, Bubble Frick. Yeah, she like squealed when she saw them all together because Grogu was the bigger, like of all three, and she squealed and everything like that.
Of course.
Skeleton Crew, which is basically Goonies, or what's the old '80s movie, The Explorers, but with Star Wars theme to it.
That'd be cool. I love The Explorers. That was one of my favorites.
The Explorers was good, and this has a very big kind of Goonies, Explorers kind of feel to it, where kids get themselves into a heap of trouble that involve Jedis, involve spaceships. Looks really cool. Gwen got interested. So she's waiting for that one. Andor season 2. That looks like it's going to be a lot of fun.
I need to watch season 1. I honestly, I think I only saw half of the first episode.
Yeah, you fell asleep.
Andor is good. It's a very gritty, very dark Star Wars series. And I think that's why a lot of people liked it more than like Ahsoka or Boba Fett, that there are no Jedis. There are no abilities. It's just like guerrilla warfare. It's just straight guerrilla warfare. So it's, if I could compare it to anything, very Mission Impossible based, like very Mission Impossible like.
Okay.
Really good. My only problem is that it kind of starts off like a Zack Snyder movie, where you have a main plot, and that main plot gets lost and forgotten as you're watching the series, and they never reference it again. They don't reference it again at all. So, kind of like Zack Snyder, where if you watch Sucker Punch, the whole plot of the movie is that the girl's trying to escape to save her sister.
Mm-hmm.
But then at the end of the movie, the sister doesn't exist anymore.
Oof, yeah.
So it's like that. But if you watch Rogue One, if you've seen Rogue One, they introduce 2 characters that are in Rogue One that are going to be in season 2 of Andor. So that's more world building for that. It looks fun though. It definitely looks fun. And she was, Gwen was kind of like on board with that. She was like, okay, I'll deal with it. And for the parks, they're introducing, I guess, more lifelike replica lightsabers. If you're a Star Wars fan, ones that actually extend out when you hit the button, that look more lifelike. That was kind of a big announcement too. So, look cool. And that was it for Star Wars. But then we have Marvel stuff. Shows. The big show that people were talking about was Daredevil. Daredevil Returns.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Yeah, that trailer. Have you seen the trailer? Or have you seen the fan shot trailer that's going around? Frank Castle.
Yeah,
he's coming back.
Looks sick, man. I'm going to be watching it for sure.
I'm going to be watching it too. I might have to go back and rewatch Punisher just to get that violence token up, because I want to see some violence.
Oh yeah.
And they announced what I think was originally supposed to be a movie, but got turned into a TV series or a series. That's Ironheart.
Yeah, I feel like we're not striking while the iron is hot, though. I feel like, party.
While Wakanda Forever was, it wasn't. I didn't feel it was a great movie. I think that Riri Williams was good, But I would have liked to have seen with the series, if they're going to do it, and we don't know anything really much about it yet, but if they're going to bring back Harley from Iron Man 3, and you have Riri Williams as what's her name? Thorn? Is there any in the comic?
Oh, he's more from the Web of Spider-Man comic book?
Ironheart, the character.
Yeah.
Is Thorn?
Maybe. I'm not sure. I'm confused now.
But have Ironheart and have Harley, that was already kind of established in the movie, kind of going over the, who's like the next Iron Man. Like kind of like the next War Machine, the next Iron Man type of build up with those two. I think that would be a cool concept. I know they really promoted her a lot for Wakanda Forever. However, her toys did not sell. I remember seeing a lot of them on the pegs. They're right next to the Eternals action figures.
Yeah,
hanging there.
Well, I think Wakanda Forever had a lot of weight to carry with the passing of Chadwick Boseman, so it was hard to, continue what they were trying to do without him. And so you had to kind of pigeonhole a lot of stuff in and kind of introduce a lot of stuff very quickly.
That's true. I'll agree with that.
So I think she was a victim of that.
I will definitely agree with that. I believe that the movie should have taken an additional year to 2 years to kind of let people grieve, people do that, and then do a movie that kind of gets everything back on track.
Yeah, there were parts of that movie that were very heavy, especially the very beginning.
It was very heavy and very sad.
Yeah,
I will definitely agree with that. But
and Riri Williams is a comedy character, so it's like I'm not sure what the tone of this show is going to be exactly.
I don't know. I really don't know. But it just I don't know how they're going to do the character though without Iron Man.
It's odd, yeah, because you said it's a series, right?
Yeah, it's going to be a series, yeah.
So, man, when you're talking about an Iron Man-esque character, Ironheart, we're talking about flying to different places, locations, a lot of aerial battles. We're talking about a lot of money.
Yeah.
In a series for a streaming service. So, I don't know what they're going to do.
I don't know either. But I think this show could have been the next generational jumping point with Harley and Thorn as like the next kind of buddy cop team. Both of them engineers. Thorn being the one from Wakanda who they brought in to help with the armor. Harley basically being the Stark working out of his garage with a car and potato guns and everything. So this could be like a good next generation. But I mean, we'll see.
In the comics, they introduced Harley as a character in a Web of Spider-Man reboot comic.
Okay.
They're like a grassroots group of kids who were trying to help Spider-Man and kind of be like their own underground Avengers team or whatever. So it might be that. I don't know.
Okay. But speaking of Spider-Man, the animated series, was it Friendly Neighborhood? That got a little bit more shown of what to expect. You get to see his suits, and so from what I heard, that this is an alternate universe where he got the powers from Osborn instead of or he got or something. Basically, he didn't really work with Iron Man. He works with Osborn. So Osborn is his mentor instead of Stark.
Okay.
In this universe, and you have Silk, you'll have Doc Ock, you'll have a lot of the characters that have been either kind of reimagined. Some are looking straight out of the comic book. They announced the voice actor for Norman Osborn, who's done a lot of cool things. It looks like it's going to be fun. Has a very Steve Ditko-esque type of design and art to it. Looks like it'll be something to watch. Did you watch any of that?
I saw pictures. I didn't get to see any video yet.
Okay, yeah, I just saw the big spread of all the suits and everything.
Oh.
That looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
But regarding both D23 and SDCC, probably the biggest news that kind of shocked everybody, besides Fantastic Four and the size of Galactus not being a gas cloud.
And we got to see the uniform.
And the uniforms the blue and white uniforms.
Mm-hmm.
That looked really cool. And we got to see Eddie from Stranger Things with short buzz cut hair.
I didn't recognize him.
And he was blonde.
Yeah. So
Stranger Things. Very strange. But the big announcement was 2 Avengers movies coming out. We got Secret Wars, but the one everybody was talking about was Doomsday.
With the Russos coming back.
With the Russos coming back. With Dr. Doom. And on the stage, they had all those Dr. Doom, the Doom bots all over the stage. And the real Doom showed up, took his mask off, and we got Robert Downey Jr., which this decision has been split. It's been split. People hate it. People love it. They hate the idea. They love the idea. The guy that built the Marvel Universe is the guy who's going to destroy the Marvel Universe. The guy that, had probably the most emotional death is now back. So what are y'all's thoughts on Robert Downey Jr. coming back?
To quote the Pool of Death, till he's 90.
Good Lord.
Till he's 90.
I mean, they've established with the multiverse that the same person doesn't have to look the same in every universe. And I think one of the big parts of him being Doom is the fact that he's going to find out about, Iron Man, Stark, and he's going to use that to his advantage. It's Doom we're talking about.
Yeah.
Doom will stop at nothing to get what he wants, even to his own detriment. And so, he's going to do something, and he's going to use the fact that he looks just like Tony Stark to his advantage.
Do you think that the Robert Downey Jr. Doom is the real Doom, or would this be a Doom bot, like an LMD?
That's a good point, because Doom bots are a thing. Who knows? They've had much pivoting after that whole Jonathan Majors thing.
Yeah, I'll agree to that.
So, I mean, all kind of bets are off the table. I mean, and I honestly like it that way. I don't want to be able to predict every little move they're going to make. I want to be able to be surprised.
Hey, that's a good thing. But Robert Downey Jr., I mean, that's a big actor, but he doesn't have the big size that a menacing Doom has, nor the accent.
The other thing I want to put into play here is now we know about anchor points.
Yes.
Was Tony the anchor point for this universe, like Logan was for the Fox universe? Mm-hmm. So I wonder if that's going to be put into play by somehow.
That could be true. That could be something. That could be something. I hope this is Marvel going back to what they knew were doing, what they did with the first 3 phases, where they had plans, they had a written out timeline, they knew what they wanted to do, they picked actors that could deliver on those roles. Because, I mean, back then when they announced Chris Evans as Cap, nobody could see that. Everybody thought of Human Torch. Nobody could see him as being the stoic and kind of stone-faced Captain America.
True.
That was a thing. If you watched Mission Impossible movies and watched other shows, Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye, nobody would see that either. That wasn't something people had thought of.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that they have enough twists and enough story to make me believe that Robert Downey Jr. is going to be a good Doom. I'm hoping.
One thing we need to remember about Dr. Doom is the fact that Dr. Doom's face got mangled by by Reed Richards and an experiment they did together, right? Isn't that what it was?
Yep.
And so, who's to say there's not a Tony Stark in their time that is helping fund all that? funding the Baxter Building and funding the Baxter Research Foundation, Future Foundation, if you will.
Yeah.
And who's to say something doesn't happen to where Tony Stark dies in that explosion, and
Doom is born.
Dr. Doom needs a new face.
Okay. So, but fantasy booking wise, if you're going to choose a new Doom, someone to play Doom, who would you pick?
Ooh. It can't be somebody who's super up in age. They got to be able to get some legs out of them.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody it's got to be a name too. It's got to be somebody that everybody recognizes, because that's what Jonathan Majors was because of everything he did with that TV series. He got real popular. The
one cryptids.
Lovecraft.
Lovecraft, yeah.
Yeah, Lovecraft Country. Yeah.
Lovecraft Country. Oh man, can't be Pedro Pascal. They already got him. Who's the new It guy in Hollywood?
The new It guy?
Oh, who's the one on the bear who was in the Von Erich movie?
Oh,
I know what you're talking about. But again, I think too small to play Dr. Doom. But then again, Dr. Doom is wearing armor. I mean, you could really just kind of beef him up with the armor.
I mean, look at Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy's like 5'9" and he's playing Venom.
And he played Bane.
And he played Bane.
He was a good Bane?
On stilts. Or he had lifts in his shoes to make him taller than Christian Bale.
Right. Man, it's a good question.
I mean, who can embody Doom? Like, embody that character?
Immediately, I would think of Bryan Cranston would be a good Doom. He's older, but you're talking about somebody who can carry a menacing aura about them.
He can, but the voice. He's got to have that booming voice that just demands, respect, fear, your attention. He's got to have it.
They can't kill him off real fast, so it can't be somebody super young.
Yeah.
Or it can't be somebody super old. Damn it, man.
It's yeah. This is the question that everybody, when you think of Doom, people are like, "Oh yeah, you should just cast this person, because they're the flavor of the month." Like, the Gus Fring from the Breaking Bad series. Everybody wants him to play Xavier. Then they want him to play Magneto. They wanted him to play Doom. Now he's playing Brigade, or he's playing Sidewinder. Is it Sidewinder?
Yeah, Sidewinder.
So they can't play everything.
That's true.
They can't play everything. Now, I did think of this. The only actor I would cast, just because of his accent, his ability to present himself being bigger than what he is, and if you need any indication of that, go watch the movie Polar on Netflix, and that's Mads Mikkelsen.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. But he was already that bad guy in Doctor Strange.
Yeah, he was. He was also the bad elf in Thor Part 2.
No, that's Christopher Eccleston.
Yeah.
That's
the ninth. Yeah, that's the ninth Doctor.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. He's one of Doctor Who's. What about the guy?
Mads Mikkelsen I'll choose.
No Country for Old Men.
Oh, the Gerard
there you
guy?
Go.
The Gerard guy?
Oh, the guy who played the Phantom of the Opera? Gerard Butler.
No, that's not him. You're thinking 300. You're thinking 300. Abs. That's Abs.
I'm thinking Phantom of the Opera.
The killer from No Country for Old Men.
Yeah.
He was also in one of the Pirates movies. He was Captain something or another. Why can't I think of his name? He was live action Ariel's dad.
Oh.
That was him. Okay, yeah, that was him.
I can't think of it right now.
Seen it.
I know who you're talking about, though.
Yeah, if you think about him.
Not Antonio Banderas. Why am I saying that?
He's too short. Antonio Banderas is a short guy.
But I know who you're talking about. And the name is. Where's my phone?
I know it's bothering me too.
But if you want to see him be intimidating and being just evil and having like a
Javier Bardem, yeah. Nicolas Cage.
Oh, Jesus.
Get him in there.
Nicolas Cage.
Lord.
Oh man. If I could see Nicolas Cage playing any character in the Marvel Universe, it's going to be Pace Pot Pete or the Trapster. That's it. That's the only character I can see him playing.
Why, Aaron? That's so disrespectful.
Not Ghost Rider?
He was going to be in Deadpool 3, but they couldn't afford him.
I know.
He wants him to be a comedy character.
You saw what Chris Evans did to the budget.
I did.
Jesus.
I did. Yeah. He killed that budget. He did it like he killed himself with all that smack talk.
Well, also, because we're talking about different branch realities and stuff like that. He played Magneto in X-Men First Class.
Yes, I was just thinking about that.
Oh, crap. Not Ian McKellen. Man, I'm like tripping on names tonight.
Same.
There's my phone. And we just watched First Class too.
Fassbender. Michael Fassbender.
Michael Fassbender would do excellent as Dr. Doom.
He could. I could see him do
that. Easily.
How tall is that fool?
Probably tall.
He's 6 foot.
Good enough.
Yeah, I mean, he was very robotic in Prometheus. He was I could see him being.
Yeah, he could be intimidating and scary.
And in Inglourious Bastards, he was scary in that too.
There you go.
So yeah, I could see him being Doom. I could probably see him being Doom.
Easily.
Have one of those scream voice changers and deepen his voice to give that voice, but the accent, he can have that Latvian accent. So that could work.
Nondescript Eastern European. You don't know what country I'm from, then I am from this country, Latvia.
Hey, have you seen the TV show Schitt's Creek?
No, I haven't watched a single episode.
So in that show, the mom from Home Alone and the mom from Beetlejuice is in there, and she speaks with an accent that changes throughout the show.
Oh, Jesus.
And when people describe her, like, yeah, some woman with like some kind of European accent, but I don't know where she's from.
My God.
That could be Doom. Just make up an accent on the fly. Make up a broken Matt Hardy accent on the fly. And then...
Did Michael Keaton do it? Because he's technically Deadpool's universe. No, wait. No, is he? No, wait.
No. He's Homecoming. He's Sony Universe.
He's Sony Universe, but kind of Disney Universe? I don't know.
The Vulture was an old man, so he made sense to play Vulture.
Yeah. It made sense for him to play an old man.
I'm not a comic genius. I just married one.
God.
I know, like he'll after a Marvel movie, I'll go, so what's happening? What's going on? Or like, what's coming up?
That is that's why Chris is there for all those answers. For all those answers.
We get the Hawk Tua girl to play a female Dr. Doom. You have to put the Hawk Tua and spit on that thing.
We get the Australian breakdancer.
Oh, Jesus.
Australian breakdancer.
Dr. Raygun.
Oh, jeez. Dr. Raygun. Oh, my God. Yeah, that's what happens whenever Jeff Hardy comes out to save his brother.
Oh, my God. Horrible. Terrible, this idea. It's terrible.
Very terrible.
Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes play Dr. Doom.
No, he's Homelander.
What? What is difference? The same thing. You want to see Dr. Doom, you have Homelander. You have Dr. Doom at home.
Oh, wow. Well, guys, it has been great talking to you.
Actually, I do have one more question.
Okay, what's that question?
Going back to the parks.
Okay.
Who has better? Epic Universe or the new Disney announcements for the parks? Did Disney overtake Epic Universe? Because I don't think they did.
What's Epic Universe?
Epic Universe is the third park to Universal. That's where you're going to have the Ministry of Magic, Universal Monsters Land, which I saw them testing the werewolf ride. How to Train Your Dragon. Was it How to Train Your Dragon? Harry Potter. Universal Monsters. Oh, Super Nintendo Land, with the Donkey Kong ride. And then they have just a random thing that they came
kids
up with.
area for like Kung Fu Panda and Minions and stuff like that.
Oh no, that's in Universal. That's already open. But Epic Universe is their third park opening. Actually, it will be open when we go next year.
Shit.
Mm-hmm. It'll be like a month or two old.
With that knowledge, and don't care about Avatar. Don't care about Indiana Jones. Cars. Don't know what's happening in Cars yet. I'll have to see Universal. I mean, Universal Monsters, The Simpsons Land, Nintendo Land.
Well, just Epic Universe, because it doesn't have The Simpsons. But just with Epic Universe, I think Epic Universe overtakes Disney, even with the villains. I like Universal Monsters better. They're classic, and plus they were showing the loop for the werewolf ride, and the cars are facing outward, so they're going like this. It looks pretty cool, and I'm just mad that you go to the Ministry via Flu Powder and not the toilet.
You know what? After hearing that, and also realizing that there is no Pizza Planet that was announced for these parks, and no Oswald announced at these parks, and you know what? That just hurts the heart. So that hurts the iron heart that I have inside me. I'm gonna have to pick Universal with Super Nintendo Land, Universal Monsters.
It's geared towards an older crowd. Universal always has been, so it's just going to be a lot of people with money going and spending money and being there.
Yeah,
it's going to. And plus, they're ahead of the curve already. They're already ahead of the curve for Disney. Like they're already out the gate by the time Disney's gonna be playing catch up. So,
I mean, I'm gonna be real. I see those 1-Up mushroom popcorn buckets that pop up all over Instagram. I'm like, you know what? I want one of those. I want one of those. I see the Chip and Dale popcorn buckets from Disney World. I'm like, fuck that! I want the 1-Up mushroom from Universal.
But just for the fact that we're getting a ride that California and Japan don't have, and Super Nintendo, we're getting the Donkey Kong ride. Have you seen the mechanics?
That looks really cool.
Have you seen
it jumps the ramps? It jumps the ramps. Yeah.
Yeah.
That looks really cool.
Like the stupidest level, the stupidest, hardest level. I hate that level. It gives me so mad because I'm like, I jumped.
But you know what Nintendo needs to have a ride of that would just hurt people but make them laugh at it too because of how fun it was. Just it hurts because of how difficult it was, but fun because you get to ride it and laugh at it afterwards. They need to have a Battletoads hoverboard ride and you're jumping the
bitch. That's fine, Aaron. Let's go ahead and have an underwater TMNT level while we're at it.
What was more frustrating, the hoverboard part from Battletoads or the underwater level in Turtles that led to the mission level of driving the turtle van? We had to go into the buildings to find more missiles to try to survive. No, that Battletoads when you're like dodging the brick walls at the end of the thing, that was a quarter killer.
That's true. So the answer is all of the above.
All of them. But if you had a ride at Nintendo Land of that Battletoads hoverboard or hover car like ride, and then you get a picture of you like hanging onto the handlebars with your feet dangling in the air as a picture, 8-bit style, that'd be awesome. That'd be hilariously awesome.
See, for Disney to compete with Super Nintendo Land, they should take like where the NBA experience is like because it closed down. And put Kingdom Hearts in there.
If they did Kingdom Hearts, that would destroy Universal.
I would love either that or Epic Mickey, but mainly put Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts would do it.
Because Kingdom Hearts is in Disneyland during Oogie Boogie Bash. You can meet Mickey and Donald and Goofy in their Kingdom Hearts gear, and Sora too.
And then have an area where you could design your own Keyblade.
Yes, you know how much money they would make with nerds like me who play the games. I still need to finish the third one. I know, Chris, but
everybody's singing Sephiroth as they're like running around that land or that part or that ride.
Yeah, if they use that to counter with Super Nintendo Land because it's mainly Mario.
That's true. They could do that.
That would give them competition if they just do Kingdom freaking Hearts.
That would. And that would be epic.
Epic Mickey.
Epic Mickey.
Epic universe.
Epic. Here we go. Well, guys, it's getting that time. It's time to shut it down. So I would like to thank y'all again for coming on.
Of course.
It has been a blast. And plug your stuff, Chris. Where can people find you and your art?
So, yeah, I mean, of course, if you want to come check out where I'm going to be for shows and what new work I'm putting out online, you want to go to Instagram. It's at Chris Foreman Artist is my Instagram handle, so feel free to give me a follow there. That'd probably be the best way, and you can drop me a line and say what's up.
And as your manager, you'll be in Waco. You're going to be at Pacific Rim. You're going to be at NostalgiaCon in Houston.
That's true. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are the next ones we have lined up. And if you're in the Houston area, Fall Creek Showbiz, every big comic movie, he will be set up there selling live art, selling prints, and all of that as well. Like, advertise yourself.
Sorry, I'm terrible at this. Yeah, my bad.
That's why I'm your manager, and I have your calendar right here.
I heard you. I need a manager.
There you go. There you go. So again, thank y'all for coming on. I know this went a little bit longer than what I had planned, but it was definitely a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
So again, this has been a front row negative experience, a show case of Disney and other things that are coming out. And with that being said, thank you everybody for listening and getting this far. And until next time, I don't know what I usually say. Something about unfriending and doing something like that. Oh well. But until then, just remember, always, fuck ponchos.
Raise the flag. Order sopapillas, you son of a bitch.
Thanks for listening. If you like what you heard, check out CrossTheStreamsMedia.com to hear more episodes of this podcast and the other shows on the Cross the Streams network. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you download your favorite shows. Visit CrossTheStreamsMedia.com for more information. See you next time.
This has been a Cross the Streams Media Podcast.